and welcome to this week's edition of Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV. I am Tommy Kryson along with Jordy Hultberg.
Good afternoon.
Coach Ed Orgeron's Tiger football team, as we saw a couple clips from the indoor facility, which has been fixed up a little bit. They continue to try to get LSU better. No prep for BYU yet, but they're continuing to work out under the veil of secrecy.
One preseason game under the books, and another one coming up on Saturday. 24, 25 days away from the start of the season, so rapidly approaching.
Coach Orgeron, again, choosing not to let the media in. They're saying maybe August 21.
Only team in the league not to do it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking now they're saying because they're reinstalling this offense, and he doesn't want anybody, I guess, tweeting out that they got in a four-wide formation, whatever it be. But I can promise you BYU has studied all 12 or 13 games from Pitt when Matt Canada was the offensive coordinator. They've studied the LSU personnel. They did all that in the summer, like all teams do. They grab their non-conference opponents. BYU not in the conference. They got to grab everybody. So it is what it is. Tiger fans, I'm sure, would like a little more information, but maybe that comes beginning on the 21st.
Matters to me none. What little information you get when you go there for 10, 15 minutes, you see who's at practice, who's not at practice, and that's basically what you get, who looks in shape, who doesn't look in shape. So come September 2nd, the lights will be on, and everybody will see everything. That's all. They can do what they want.
A couple of little sessions with the media by the players each week. Coach Orgeron, a couple sessions as well. That's all you're getting right now.
One thing about Ed Orgeron, though, you ask him a question, he'll answer it. Somebody's injured, he'll tell you who's injured. If, who's the depth chart, he'll tell you who the depth chart is. Quite different from his predecessor.
Well, Coach O's been forthright since day one when he was quote unquote interim coach. Mm-hmm. He says, like you said, and I think people like that and they appreciate that.
Look, it all comes down to one thing now. Early on we talked about it. He won over the players as an interim coach by shortening practice. He went over the fans by actually talking football. He went over the media by letting them actually go watch practices during the season. Never done before. All that's out the window now. Now he's got to win games.
Well, it's business.
He's got to win games.
It's time to get to business
win.
Now. He's a head coach and all of that. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm like you. It matters to me none. Would the fans like a little bit more info? More importantly, the fans want to see wins starting on September 2nd. So that'll be the big thing right there, and go with that. And
I kind of like the suspense. I kind of like going, okay, we don't know. We haven't seen anything with Canada's offense. We have no idea. And so September 2nd, 8:30 at night, if I can stay awake that late.
You will. It's the opener.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, so, you got a dead period for recruiting right now. By the way, we'll have Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com on with us a little bit later on in the program here on Tigers Roar, and he'll give you an update on all of that good stuff as well. But so it's LSU trying to get ready. They're trying to make LSU better. Obviously, the offensive line's a question. They're not starting the preps on BYU yet. That's going to come a little bit later.
Plenty of time for that.
Plenty of time for that. You can't
LSU,
come out the gate too early.
14-touchdown favorite on that thing?
12.5 to 13.5 is what I saw most recently, and I'll get an update on that later in the week. But it's over in Houston, and I do know this. LSU fans will outnumber BYU fans at least 6-1, maybe even more than that, huh?
80%. Maybe
you're going 80?
Maybe 85%, 15%.
So a lot of purple and gold. You see it Saturday, September the 2nd, NRG Stadium in Houston.
How about the start to that day? I'm sorry, Alabama and Florida State, and then you follow that up with LSU BYU. That's not a bad day.
And it gives us a perfect time for us to remind you we will have the 11th year of the Pelican Sports post-game show. Immediately following the game. It is
1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry.
It'll be after midnight in all probability. Will be radio and TV. It's a 90-minute program. Your phone calls, your text messages. Just give us a couple of minutes when that clock says 0. We push a few buttons. Connect a few wires, put some makeup on Buddy Sanjay, and then it'll be your phone calls, your text messages.
Makeup does not help.
We'll get reports from the stadium, statistical analysis, the 11th year of the Pelican Sports post-game show. So please let folks know about it. We're going to amp up the publicity on that as we get closer as well. And the TV portion of that repeats on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. So in case you miss it Saturday night, we'll have it Sunday morning. But BYU, LSU. I said this on the radio this week, Jordy. BYU's in most cases, picked to win 9 or 10 games. Their schedule's not what LSU's is, although LSU's on their schedule. They're an independent. They're not in a conference. I think they're good enough that if LSU plays a bad game, penalties, turnovers, mistakes, breakdowns in the kick game, they're good enough to win. Chattanooga's not going to beat LSU, okay, no matter what happens. They can't win that game. But BYU would be capable of winning if LSU has a very bad night.
From the people I've talked to, they'll be good defensively. Offensively is a whole other story. Skill position people, but defensively they feel pretty good about themselves. So
they got a second-year coach who's a former BYU player, so he's all about it.
They don't have Ty Detmer, they don't have Jim McMahon, they don't have Steve Young slinging the ball around a little bit.
Wow, you went to the Jim McMahon call.
Oh, well, he was pretty good back in the day. Pretty good.
I'd say.
I mean, that's quarterback you right there, that place, man.
Yeah, you got to wonder how they ended up with somebody like McMahon and Young, who were better after they got them than when they went there, I guess. But I don't remember. We didn't have the internet blowing up back then. But anyway, coming up on tonight's program, LSU football stuff. Now, look, we know this is Tigers Roar. We know it's all about LSU football. We don't have as much information as we're going to have in the coming weeks. So we'll have a few Saints things in there and a few other things going for you tonight as well. But we will visit with Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com a little bit later in the program. Also, a programming note for you. Coming up after Tigers Roar tonight, being Wednesday, the original airing of the program, the Coach Roger Kadar Show, hosted by Clarence Buggs. Kind of a wrap, if you will, for after his retirement.
Once a coach, always a coach. We still call him coach, right?
If the governor walks in, you say governor. And they got some other stuff coming up they're going to tell you about. But to immediately following Tigers Roar on Wednesday night, 10 p.m., Saturday morning at 9:30, a rebroadcast of that same show. We'll get it to the YouTube channel and lots more to tell you about that. But check out a little Coach Roger Kadar show following Tigers Roar tonight. We ask you to do that 10 p.m. on the Wednesday, again 9:30 on Saturday. Hey, Jordy, let's take a break, come back. We're going to tell people about an amazing sale coming up at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. We'll continue with more LSU stuff after this pause on Pelican Sports TV. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
DLA Painting Incorporated is your company for professional painting, serving the greater Baton Rouge area and South Louisiana for over 20 years. Ready to paint for those recovering from flood, residential repaint, commercial painting, any size job, free estimates. Customer satisfaction is our highest priority. Call 225-505-8785. DLA Painting Incorporated, fully insured. Call Dennis at DLA Painting at 225-505-8785.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. a CLK multifamily management property, come see this community which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. Continue with Tigers Roaring. Before we dive into some more LSU football, I got a plan for you to get ready for LSU football tailgating, and Jordy's going to tell you all about a way that you can go about doing that.
Get your calendar, whether it's on your phone or the old-fashioned, circle August the 19th because Tremonti's is having their semi-annual one-day meat sale. Whether it's beef or pork or chicken or seafood, you'll see everything. And prices, ridiculous. Some of them cut in half. Go to Tremontis.com, their website, and you can see everything that's available. Remember, August 19th, the one-day semi-annual meat sale only at Tremontis. It's an opportunity, like TK said, to load up, clear out your freezer, get a whole bunch of stuff. You can get everything for tailgating, get everything for Labor Day weekend, whatever you want. Their burgers, their sausage, their fillets are normally $29.99 for $14.99. I mean, you can't beat it with a stick. One day, August the 19th. Do not miss this opportunity at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
There you go. And Pelican Sports Radio will be over there on Tuesday the 15th doing a live remote and tell you a little bit more about that as well. But Jordy's right. Go to the website. Get that Saturday, August 19th marked out on the calendar. LSU doesn't play till September the 2nd, but the Tigers are practicing. A couple of times that we've had some player interviews, and we got a little bit of that we're going to share with you in a moment. But, you know, as you said, it matters none to us. What matters is what do they do on September 2nd, 9th, etc. 5 games in the month of September. So, and then it's all conference games after that. It's a tough schedule in front of them.
Sure.
But you got to start with BYU.
Third toughest in the country, according to some pundits. The major thing that of concern is the offensive line for LSU. KJ Malone, Toby Weathersby, Will Clapp out for the first preseason scrimmage because of minor camp injuries. I'm the glass half full guy. That means you got some young pups that are getting more and more reps. You can develop some depth there. That's the big major concern. We've heard some names mentioned. Kaylavon Chason on the defensive side getting some work done. Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the offensive side. The Catholic High built like a tree stump, turning some heads in practice as well. It's Danny Etling's job. It appears right now that if you had to guess who the backup quarterback would be right now, I think it would be Miles Brennan. But time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, we get a look at some of the clips from practice that have been provided to us by LSU. Again, they're just working on making themselves better, identifying the top 6, 7, 8, 9 linemen. As Coach Pete Jenkins working with the defensive linemen. That's his specialty there. And it's the little things that matter. I saw a clip with Coach Orgeron just talking about where you put your foot, your first step, your second step. Pete Jenkins, you know, it's all about technique and being specific, and he's as good as it gets teaching these guys what to do. And these guys know that. They know when they got somebody like Pete Jenkins working with them that they can only make themselves better.
Lots of film study, no question about that. Their day is mapped out completely. Kudos at Orgeron just brought Jerry Sullivan on board. You see the quarterbacks. That's Lowell Narcisse, number 2. Miles Brennan, number 15. Getting their reps in, and they're divvying it up and letting them do what they want. McMillan, number 8, the left-hander. Scott, number 2, and there's Etling, number 16. So putting in the time, giving them opportunities to see what they can do, and go from there. Now, wide receiver is going to get better. Jerry Sullivan brought in. He was a wide receiver coach at LSU for about 6 or 7 years when Bill Arnsberger was here from 84 to 90. Then he went to the NFL, has been terrific for years, just left Jacksonville, hired as a consultant. I think Mickey Joseph hired more as a recruiter than a wide receiver coach. So Sullivan comes in as a technician to help him in that field. I think they'll be much better.
He can coach the coaches. He can like Greg McMahon, the former Saints special teams guy. LSU going to have 5 different coaches handling different aspects of the special teams games. That's a little unorthodox at this level, Going to be interesting to see how that works, and does that remain through the duration of the schedule? That's
Time
a little
will tell.
question mark that hasn't surfaced a whole lot because there's so much talk about the quarterback and the offensive line.
And look, we won't know until they get out there and perform. It might be a whole bunch to do about nothing, or it may be something, but we'll see. Players have to play, and we'll see how they handle it.
Now, we mentioned to you that the players are having a couple of media sessions during the week, as is Coach Ed Orgeron. We got some brief clips from you. Darius Geis talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Devin White, who's really catching some attention on the other side of the ball. Here's some comments from the LSU players from this week.
Clyde, one of the surprises of camp. What's it about Catholic guys that so good at running back?
It's crazy. I really don't know. What I can say about that is just me and him, watching each other since we were little. The same thing happened to me when I first got here. I was surprised at camp and stuff. I turned everybody's head. It's just the same thing. I taught him a lot while we were at Catholic, and he's doing what I expected he would do. I expect nothing less of him.
Darius, what do you like about this team right now?
Right now, that we're looking pretty sound on offense. With the offense, because that's the biggest change from this off season for the whole year. The offensive change, and everybody's really buying into it. Perfecting it now. We still install. It's camp. But I just love to see us, come together closer as a team and, really buy into it and, learn it and perfect it. I feel like we're getting really good
You're
at it.
fitting into this defense now. Is it your junior year now? Sophomore year? Find your spot more, I guess, and kind of where you at this game.
I feel like I'm being more of a leader. That was my whole goal for the spring, and I feel like I'm doing really good with that. I'm learning the plays. Being able to help the younger guys out. So that was just my main focus, just to kind of be a leader because we had a lot of guys leave last year.
Talk about the reaction of the picture the other day.
Man, it was kind of crazy because I ain't really been on social media, because I've been trying to focus. But somebody sent me the link from Twitter, so I had to click on that just to look at the picture. So I was like, man, I gotta retweet this. I know I don't supposed to be on here, but it was a cool picture. I finally brought the guns out, since we had a scrimmage.
Devin White, a lot of things are being expected out of him.
Sure
and
are.
it went viral on social media, as they say. The picture, I think Jacques Doucet of WAFB fired it out first, showing off his guns. We have that picture for you. This is not what Jordy Hultberg's arms looked like when he played basketball at LSU.
Never.
Three of your arms
Never.
wouldn't have looked like one of those. But look at the guns on that. Is that a picture for the weight training class and the weight room?
The transition from running back
wow.
to linebacker, he is an integral part. You got to be able to stop the run. That means you got to be stout up the middle. And you can see by his height and, more importantly, his weight, and with his ability as a running back to move side to side and laterally, he's going to be a heck of a player.
When they first got him, when is he going to be offense? Is he going to be defense? And
Let me play.
just got everybody's attention. He said, I'll do whatever I can to get on the field. You like a guy with that attitude. But defensively, he looks like he's going to be another in this long line of linebackers who aren't the biggest guys on the field, but they sure know how to do the job. And we can go back through the names of Debo Jones and Riley and
Right.
Quan Alexander.
Right.
We can go on and on. There's your next one right there.
And Jacoby Stevens made the transition, the freshman, from safety to slot receiver. And Ed Orgeron said he always has the option to go back to safety if he wants to. And no option for Devin White. He's not going back to running back. He's solidified as a middle linebacker.
So much talk about the quarterback and the offensive line, and rightfully so. Dave Aranda in his second year, okay? Everybody's kind of got a clue now. Even something like a Devin White who was here last year. The numbers that the defense put up last year speak for themselves. A couple of numbers got skewed a hair in the second half against A&M. Before that, they're among the best in the nation. Even though there's names on the defense that aren't household names yet, there's guys who are going to be household names in October and certainly November. I got to just defer to Dave Aranda and his defensive set. I think the defense will be okay. A lot of shoes to fill. I'm not worried about that. I think the concern, as everybody has said, is the offensive line. Don't need any injuries there. and then, of course, the quarterback position, quarterback play.
Isn't it refreshing? You hear Aranda, you hear Canada, and they both espouse to the same philosophy. We're not a cookie cutter type of a team. Okay, what do I have? What kind of players do I have on the defense side? What kind of players do I have on the offensive side? What do they do best? I'm smart enough and varied enough where I can devise my game plan to utilize my talent to the best, whether that's a 3-4 or a 4-3 or a 3-3, whatever, 3-3-6, 5, whatever. And offensively, whatever it takes, we're going to get the right people on the field and give them the chance to succeed. Isn't that refreshing to hear for the first time in maybe forever?
Yeah, it's refreshing to hear, and it'll be more refreshing to see it.
Yes.
Yeah, see it live on the TV on a Saturday night.
Yes.
But no, and great coaches adapt to what they have. Aranda and Canada, even though it's staggered by a year, these aren't quote-unquote their guys. This isn't guys they brought in over a period of time. It's almost like high school coaches, high school coaches that run the football, all of a sudden they get a kid that can throw it, they start throwing it. That's a sign of a good coach. Adjust to what you have. You could shoot the basketball. Nobody was going to put you on a low block and post up. That would have been
that'd have been awesome, though.
Yeah, you really
got to the free throw line,
Greg
man.
Cook you never got out of practice with Cookie, man. But no, so I mean, and that's what it appears that Aranda and Canada are doing, and just magnifies the good hire by Ed Orgeron.
All right, one question. Take Danny Etley out of the equation. All right, of all the players for LSU, who is the one player they can least afford to lose to injury?
Wow. Darius Geis. I know we're hearing good things about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We're hearing some good things about the other running backs.
What if they lose KJ Malone? What if they lose an offensive lineman? What if they lose that?
Weathersby,
you got depth at running back, supposedly.
Right.
What if you lose that left tackle?
Well, if they lose, any problems on the line will result in Geis not doing much and or Etley not doing much.
Exactly. So I'm going somebody on the offensive line, personally.
Because Geis isn't going to block for a lot of people. He may throw a block or pick up a blitz or two, but he's not out there to block.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I was talking to a guy, now this is kind of off the subject, but Jacksonville Jaguars. The guy I had on my radio show a guy that studied Jerry Sullivan for the past 4 years, and I said, oh, by the way, you cover Jacksonville. How's Leonard Fournette doing? What's his strength? He said he is wowing the Jaguars with his pass catching ability, coming out of the back, catching passes. I went, really?
When did he start doing that?
They said we never saw that. Nobody knew he could do that. I said, really? You think?
They did have that one video when he got lit up by a linebacker and
that's going to happen.
Come on,
but his ability to catch the football coming out of the backfield.
But they tried to throw it to him a little bit, but Harris couldn't get it to him the year before.
Oh my God!
No, we don't need to be.
We don't have to worry about that anymore. We got a new guy. As
Curly Holman would say, let's don't beat a dead horse to death, right? Remember when Curly came up with that one? That's when we used to be at all the press luncheons,
Lord have mercy.
Those
were the days.
The Fournette thing reminded me of a pretty funny joke. They said that Alabama fans who watch the NFL Combine, they watched Fournette run the 40 because they'd never seen him go 40 yards before.
That
was a good one. That was a good one.
Good.
Okay,
and unfortunately, it was true.
You got to throw some friendly barbs sometime. And that was a good one.
Unfortunately,
ding ding. You give him a point for that one. That was a good one.
It was accurate.
It was funny, but no. And I'm curious to see how he and all of those other LSU guys are going to do off in the NFL. We're hearing some good things about Traven Durrell down at the Saints camp.
They got a couple of guys hurt. The preseason will be key for him. They open up against Cleveland on Thursday night, so that'll be key for him. Did you see Hard Knocks with Quan Alexander?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
He had that red Tampa Bay hair.
Like dyed red.
Dyed red,
like
yes.
to match the color of their unis.
Yeah, he was great. He had a little clip with he and John Gruden. Gruden said, man, I love how you play. He was very polite, said thank you, so we'll say. He was good.
Yeah, so and we're going to talk a little bit.
LSU well represented in the league.
Oh, better than anybody last year. Now, when the 53-man rosters get finalized a couple weeks down the road, they'll put that out again. What team has the most players? What conference has the most players? LSU and the SEC will either be at the top or very close to the top.
It says an awful lot about LSU where everybody's ranking them, not in the top 10, maybe around, I think the norm would be around 12 They lost a lot of key players defensively. They weren't sure about Etling at quarterback. Got a new offensive coordinator. There's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts out there, but they still have them ranked highly.
The coaches poll has them 12, and the coaches know how well LSU is recruited. There's 65 coaches that vote, including Mark Hudspeth at ULL, Willie Fritz at Tulane, and there's a bunch of other ones in the SEC. Ed Orgeron does not have a vote. But they know how well LSU is recruited for the last 15 years, so that's why I'm not surprised they're up at 12th in the coaches poll. The Sports Illustrated poll came out this week, they were 13th. Yeah. And then the big one, the Associated Press, the AP, that comes out Monday, August 21. I think they'll be below 12 or 13 in that one.
You know why they waited until the 21st?
First day of school. No, why?
No, first day they can go watch LSU practice.
Oh, yeah. Well, but they're going to vote Sunday night. I guess they do that.
They can wait Monday and put it in there.
Now, They do all that on the computers.
I speak in jest.
AP poll comes out the 21st, and of course.
I'll take the coaches over the AP, I'm sorry. Even if the sports information directors are doing it.
The coaches know how well LSU's recruited. Yeah. The Associated Press, LSU, I think it's going to be 14, 15, 16, or 17.
You know why the AP waits till the end? So all the writers can look at all the other polls and say, oh, this is where I'll put them there too.
Just don't have Notre Dame in there, please.
Come on.
Please. Notre Dame,
they'll be looking for a new coach next year.
Tennessee, those guys can't play. I don't think so. Anyway. All right. We are ready to take a break. A reminder, programming note, the Coach Roger Kadar show Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, following Tigers Roar Saturday morning at 9:30, hosted by Clarence Buggs. Clarence always does a great job with that, and you'll enjoy that program. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and you'll enjoy it. And we'll get it over to YouTube for you as well, where you can watch a lot of the Pelican programming, including this program, at your convenience, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast. And we're going to take a break. We come back. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. We're going to talk. It's a recruiting dead period right now, but we'll talk about recruiting, what's happening with LSU, get Mike's thoughts on the whole bit after this pause. He's Jordy Hultberg. I'm Tommy Chrysan. Spread the roar. Tigers roar. Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy planker siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy, and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
We continue in Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan with you. It's
The one and only.
Time to visit with Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. Mike, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Slow time in recruiting. It's a dead period, so what are you doing?
We're doing our chats and mingling on our message boards and covering the football team and going to the press conferences and a little bit of basketball. It never stops. We don't have any problems finding anything to put up on the site.
What are people? What are their consensus about this recruiting class to date? And are people optimistic that this is going to be another vintage recruiting class or not?
Well, look, we're about to have in a week and a half. Rivals is going to revamp their rankings, and I think several of the 3 stars should get their fourth star. It's currently ranked 7th by Rivals. I think that'll get moved up. But when you got guys like Surtain and Terrace Marshall still on the board, and I think both those guys are in the probable category for LSU. They're 5 stars. I think that'll help the class. Be where folks expect it to be. But when you dive deeper, will they have that junior college offensive lineman that they need? Do they maybe need 2 more junior college offensive linemen in this class? Today we've had still people asking, does it make sense not to take a quarterback in this class? Can they get away with it? Everything we're hearing about how Miles Brennan is doing is good, and but you still, for the future, that's what you really look at in this class. Are you meeting the needs? I think the Provence kid from Alabama, the all-purpose back, that's still one to watch. A lot of people in that state, in Alabama, think he might eventually flip to Auburn. And if that happens, this is a class where you thought LSU needed definitely 2 running backs and maybe even 3. Well, that would leave you with 1 with Curry. So who might the other running backs be? Because Harold Joyner, who was the guy that they was might be been the number 1 guy on their board, eliminated LSU during that weekend when LSU got Curry and the kid from Manny Carter that then flipped back to UCLA. So still some questions there, but as usual, you're going to have the defensive backs and the wide receivers that make up the class, and but I think really the emphasis going forward is to get those wide receivers. Jamar Chase, I still think, even though he's committed to Florida, I think he's ripe to flip once he sees Matt Canada's offense. That would be a big get to get him to go with Keenan Jones and the kid from Gina. So I think this class is what it is, and certainly 2019 is just absolutely loaded in the state of Louisiana. The whole Rivals 250 that was released earlier this week is just loaded with Louisiana kids for next year, and LSU's in great shape with all of them.
Mike, if I'm correct, September 1st, the dead period's over. Coaches can begin seeing players again. That's week 1 of the prep season in Louisiana, that Friday the 1st.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that when being critical of Miles' tenure at LSU was something that there were several things that I saw. Was one, the grinding practices and practicing full pads and scrimmaging in December and the open day before Alabama. That's the first thing Orgeron did was put that to a halt and practice more like a pro team. And the other thing that Miles had a bad habit about or just didn't believe in was letting his assistant coaches go out on Friday nights if there was a big game on the Saturday So if LSU was hosting Auburn in September, he didn't want his coaches going out and recruiting on that Friday night. He wanted them all to be together and still working or with the team at the movies or whatever.
Well, now obviously on the first,
So that put
That'll
LSU
change.
behind.
That'll change. Yeah.
yeah, and on the first they'll be in Houston, so there's plenty of players to see over there if they can make those contacts.
Right.
On the other side, basketball. Will Wade just continues. He gets a graduate transfer, a shooting guard from Southern Utah, and there's that big 7-footer who got his release from Western Kentucky from Chalmette High School, Mitchell Robinson. What are you hearing about him?
Yep, going to be at a lot of hubbub on Saturday that he might sign early. Go ahead and sign a national letter with LSU, but he's going to Kansas this weekend for a visit, and we're kind of waiting to see does his sign, as far as LSU is concerned, does he sign with the Tigers only if
He gets a
they
waiver.
find out that he's going to be actually eligible to play at some point this year.
Mm-hmm. I'm hearing the possibility of the NCAA ruling him ineligible for the first semester, but he would be eligible in December. There is a possibility of that. If that's the case, I think he could come to LSU.
Yeah,
I think he's always wanted to come to LSU.
If that would be the ruling, then I think he would be a definite take for LSU.
If not, he goes overseas and plays.
Mike, what can you tell us about Randy Anwasar, the guy who used to be at Texas Tech, Southern Utah? Will Wade's got him coming into the program.
No, it's just, you look at his stats, and I went to YouTube and pulled up some clips of him.
Shoot.
I mean, he can. I'm like, man, how does Will Wade find out about a kid from Southern Utah? I mean, I'd like to be a fly on the wall of just what they're, how they're working there and working the phones and the internet or whatever they're doing. But it's just, and then you beat out Gonzaga for the kid.
Yeah.
That's.
Look, 24 points is 24 points. I don't care if you're
Let the
playing.
Big Sky
I don't care who you're playing. Fifth in the country.
And look, I mean, I like to think I got a pretty good pulse, at least with the Tiger Bait subscribers on our message boards.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some real football heads on my board who are talking about getting basketball tickets that have never gotten basketball tickets.
How about that?
Hey, Mike, I know you're busy. Why don't you tell us all about TigerBait.com? Tell us about the all-day chat room, too, and why people need to get to TigerBait.com and become a subscriber.
Yeah, that's one of our best features. We do it every Wednesday. We open it up about mid-morning, and Brian Lazar and I answer questions all day and through the evening. And we usually, by the end of the day, we probably have 6 or 7 pages full of Q&A and discussion, so it's really good. Of course, last week was our first week of the year, and that was the same morning that we found out Maya Tahoma was no longer with the program, so I kind of put a wet blanket on the first one. But we've had a really good one this week, and we'll keep doing them every week.
That's TigerBait.com. Mike, we encourage folks to get there because tons of information on all LSU sports and certainly as much football as possible.
Happy birthday, young fella. Have a good one.
Thank y'all.
All right,
all right. It is a little birthday here in the middle of the week for Mr. Scarborough. I
Still working.
Sent him the wishes this morning. Good guy. We appreciate him with his contributions to Tigers Roar. He's a regular on Buddy's radio show. He has been on my show once or twice as well. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, tell you about a little bit of New Orleans Saints stuff. Yeah, and they actually have a game coming up this week, exhibition game number 1 against the woeful Cleveland Browns. We'll talk about all of that. And Traven Doral, former LSU Tiger, doing well with the Saints. We'll continue. Jordy Holberg, Tommy Krysan, Tigers Roar. Stay with us.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-779-1032. 800-779-1032.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Remind you about WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge. Nice mixture of local and national stuff. But the local lineup during the weekdays, Jordy Hultberg, Buddy Sanji, myself, Dave Scandaliato, Carlos Brown on Saturday mornings. Louisiana Music Hall of Fame Radio, hosted by Mike Shepard. That'll take you through the night. Jim Rome, the flag bearer for CBS Sports Radio, 11 to 1, Monday through Fridays. Take us with you with the app. WUBR AM 910. We have our own app. We're also on TuneIn. Take us wherever you want to go. The post-game show will be simulcast on that station, so you tailgaters in the parking lot, in traffic, you can get the post-game show on the app. WUBR 910 AM. Jordy, tell us about your afternoon radio endeavors.
2 to 4 in Acadiana on 103.7 The Game, 103.7thegame.com, and simulcast in New Orleans on Sports 1280, 91.1 HD2. So we are in Acadiana and New Orleans as well.
There you go. Check it out on the radio. And, of course, the post-game show will be simulcast, that 90-minute show, about midnight after that LSU-BYU game.
Clarify, BYU is going to be able to play.
Yeah,
so
they can finish the game. The New Orleans Saints will be in Cleveland. And we're hearing lots of things. Fans can go to certain Saints practices, the media. We're getting a lot more info there. And we've got some clips. Dennis Allen talking about the defense and the play of the Saints. Here's some info on the Saints, who have exhibition game number 1 in Cleveland this week.
Well, I think I've obviously seen progress from where we were at this point last year to where we are right now. I'm really anxious and excited about getting into game situations and see how these guys respond under the lights. I think there's been progress, but yet, I think we gotta temper our emotions a little bit and wait and see how we go out and perform underneath the lights.
How much do you weigh just the preseason games, just in general, for evaluating?
Well, look, it's the most important thing, right? I mean, you know, that's what we do. We go out and play games. So, you know, I would say it's important for all these guys to go out and compete and perform well in the preseason games. Well, yeah, and Bobby, I think that really gets back to, you know, what do your guys really do well? I think that's one of the things that Kenny really does well. I think he's a good pressure player, and so us being able to find opportunities where, you know, we can send him on a rush because he's a fast and explosive player, and he'll go back there with a reckless, you know, kind of a disregard for his body, and so that's a good thing. So yeah, I think his experience helps him in that regard, but I think more than anything, just his mindset, you know, and the type of player he is allows him to be successful in those situations.
What's your impression of Alex Anzalone been so far?
I think Alex is you know, really smart. I think he's an instinctive player. I think he's got you know, good coverage skills as a linebacker. I like his length as a linebacker. You know, because, you know, a lot of times you'll see these guys in contested situations down the field, but yet with a lack of length, sometimes it's hard to be able to make the play at the end of the day. So I'd say he's probably a little bit further along in pass coverage, and he still has some things to improve in the run game, but I like his progress so far.
Listen, I thought today it was good. You know, we'll see when we get into these preseason games, but I thought the energy overall was good.
And I mean, at this point, you know, what are some reasons you think that group could be better specifically?
Well, there's a handful of those guys that are a year more experienced. We had some, you know, younger guys playing. When you look at PJ and Crawley and Swan, and you look at Harris, and those are all first, second, you know, early year guys that are going to have a little bit more experience, a little bit more confidence. You know, hopefully we see that growth. We've got some experienced guys back there as well. Sterling's a veteran player that's been, you know, in a lot of football games and understands what it takes. So there's a pretty good combination there.
When you get to these preseason games, do you expect to see a continue? I mean, do you sort of expect to see a continuation, or are you looking at it as, hey, are players going to surprise me at this preseason game with something we maybe haven't seen on the practice field?
Well, I think, look, in every preseason game there's some good surprises. There's some, you know, not so good surprises. I mean, that's why you play them. But you do get a better evaluation. There's someone else that's prepared, going full speed, and you know, in that competitive environment, you know, here you are, and it's a game. So you learn a lot, and it gives you an opportunity to really measure growth, and then see where you're at the second week and third week, and you have a feel out here, and yet there's things that'll happen in those games that may be surprising to you.
Joining down in Metairie at Saints Camp, Traven Doral, former LSU Tiger, free agent kind of guy. I know one day he was out there working with the ones and caught some passes from Drew Brees. He's been turning some heads. I don't know if he's going to make the team, maybe the practice squad. Don't know yet.
I think the practice squad is his. He's going to have to prove that he can play on special teams and do some damage there. He's got a lot of people he's got to get ahead of. The reason he was with the ones, they held out 3 or 4 wide receivers, but he took advantage of his opportunity. It's nice when you have Drew Brees throwing passes to you.
Yeah,
very nice.
Hall of Famer. Here's Coach Sean Payton talking about Traven Doral, the former LSU Tiger, and a running back by another Hall of Famer by the name of Adrian Peterson. Here's Coach Payton.
Well, he's got good size for a receiver, and you know, he'll be one of those guys we get a good look at in this preseason, but he's done some good things.
How does he fit in with this offense?
Well, he's in the process of going. I mean, look, the receivers, you know, you hope there's a certain skill set they bring. I mean, are they good with the outside? Are they good with the inside patterns? You know, how do they block? Do they pick it up? Can they play multiple positions, or are we leaving them at one position? I think he's got real good size. I think he runs well for his size. I'm sure he's going to have to add strength, and there's, you know, a lot of work he has to do on some of the specifics. And then, you know, is there a way for him to fit in the kicking game? You know, all those will be questions we have a chance to answer, not just with him, but most of these guys. And so far, look, there's been some some good snaps that we've been able to evaluate.
Adrian Peterson hasn't had a carry in the preseason since 2011. Will that change here since he's adjusting?
We'll see. You know, I think we've got to be smart and understand, hey, what the main goal of it is. But we really haven't sat down to finalize, you know, how we want to handle this game.
And we'll see how Adrian does for you guys, obviously. But do you think there's any sort of mental advantage when you have two it's a rarity to have a Hall of Fame quarterback and running back together. Is there any mental advantage that you guys have over the defense when you have that?
I don't think there's any mental advantage. I just think you want more good players, and you know, if you're able to have real good players, I think it helps you. I don't know that there's any. I mean, certainly with Drew and his experience, there's a mental edge with his understanding of what we do. Adrian's picked up the system very quickly, and you know, you're looking for good football players, really.
Century. Good players, right? Good players make coaches great.
Good players win games. Great
Bad players get coaches fired.
No question. Hey, we'll take our final break of the evening, come back, put some more information on you, a little LSU football. Don't forget Roger Kadar at 10 p.m. tonight, Saturday morning at 9:30. The Coach Roger Kadar Show. Got some other stuff we'll be telling you about in the future as well. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan, we're back. Stay with us. More of Tigers Roar.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-718-3516. 800-718-3516.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair. Come to my summer blowout sale starting June 15th. Half off sale items. Everything must go. Hope to see you there.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal and she makes your dreams come true.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Continue with Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan. Would you spread the roar? As we come at you originally on Wednesday nights. Got replays on Pelican Sports TV Friday night at 7, Saturday morning at 10. ETEL cable system, Fridays and Saturdays at 2 p.m. And of course, YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Jordy, we get closer to LSU, BYU. Tigers 12.5, 13.5 point favorites. That number may move around a little bit before the kickoff, but it's soon to be over in Houston, right down the highway. Tigers and Cougars, who will have one game under their belt.
Portland State, baby. That's a big one. That's a big one. Portland State.
Fans are looking forward to that one on Saturday, September 2. Tons of Tiger fans in Houston.
Who has the advantage? BYU for playing a game or LSU for sitting back, not getting anybody hurt, and being able to watch BYU and evaluate them on tape. Who has the advantage?
I think that's tit for tat. I mean, BYU might get rid of a few of those early penalty mistakes, get a couple of kinks out. LSU won't have the dress rehearsal, so to speak. I can see the pros and cons of both sides of it, neither of which I think are major. Whoever plays the best football game that night will win. If LSU plays like they're capable of playing, they're going to win the game.
LSU wants to put the past in the past. They want to put that debacle at Green Bay and Lambeau Field behind them. They've always played well in some of these, neutral site games, so hopefully they'll get back in the swing of things, get started, get them in a good roll. They'll beat Chattanooga, then they got to go play Mississippi State and Starkville, right? So,
yeah, and of course, when we get a little closer, we'll find out will Arden Key play. They may identify a backup quarterback between now and then. So lots of things still to go. And I guess, as you said earlier, most importantly, who are the 7 or 8 or 9 linemen they're going to count on and hope that none of them get hurt? Or, as Danny Etling said last week, next man up. Somebody else will have to do the job.
It's a fine line between working hard and working smart. I don't think they're going to have much contact with these offensive linemen during the week, and I think they're going to be very reserved on these preseason games on Saturdays. You know what you get with Clapp, Weathersby, and Malone? Rest them.
Donovan Campbell expected to do some stuff. Deculus. And look, I even heard that, classes start August 21. They may have the linemen wearing knee braces to class so they don't get on the Indian mounds or they don't go on the stairs or whatever. Don't need any injuries there because, as we said, without that offensive line, Geis can't lead the conference in rushing. Etling can't move them up and down the field. So it all kind of goes together. And then also keep an eye on this special teams thing. Let's hope that is not a problem going forward.
Got too many athletes there. They'll be fine.
Well, you got to kick it through the post, though. And
but you got
flip the field when you punt.
You got good skill position people and all that. I'm not worried about the kicking game. They got plenty. I think there's other things you got to be worried about. Are these newcomers on the defensive side going to be game ready come SEC time? You lost a lot of players from the defensive side of the ball, all highly drafted. It's a lot of people. I know they recruit well. But playing on the practice team, second team, is different than lining up against the studs of the SEC.
Hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Facebook page is Pelican Broadcasting. Twitter account @Pelican Sports. YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tune in or go to your app store and look for WUBR AM 910. Take us with you wherever you go and tell people around the country that are LSU fans and they want that information. And again, the Pelican Sports postgame show, we will have it simulcast, radio, TV, smartphones, internet, tablets, mobile devices. Jordy Hultberg, LSU basketball. We got to follow that Mitchell Robinson thing.
We're talking about
maybe
hoops
by the time we're back next week.
We're talking about hoops right before football season.
Yeah, that's rare.
Will Wade, way to go, baby. Way to go.
Will Wade. Like you said, everything he's doing seems to be good. I want to thank Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, for joining us on his birthday of all things. Jordy Hultberg on the radio, myself, Tommy Krysan. Takes a lot of people to put this show together. We appreciate their work. Most importantly, thank you for watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy, and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair. Come to my summer blowout sale starting June 15th. half off sale items. Everything must go. Hope to see you there.
My name's Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal and she makes your dreams come true.